Hey guys, my name's Lamar, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 lessons learned from failed products on Amazon FBA. Now, this is one of the main excuses people make for not starting an Amazon FBA business. They think, what if my product fails? Or what if I launch a product and customers don't like it? Or I put up all this, upfront capital investment and, there is no market there. These are all valid concerns, and I'm here to tell you that the concern of launching a failed product never goes away. In fact, I still get nervous to this day, and I've launched, over 50 different products on Amazon. I still get concerned about whether this product will be successful. There's always a little bit of fear when you go and you take a risk like this. There is no 100% certainty in this business or in any business that you're going to be doing. Any kind of opportunity, anything where you're setting out on your own and you're trying to create an additional income stream for yourself, there's always going to be some sort of risk involved. That's why this is hard. This is why not everyone is cut out to have a side hustle or to become an entrepreneur, because these are uncomfortable feelings, and those feelings and this opportunity does come with risk. Now, there are ways that we can minimize that risk, and I hope that within this video, I can share my lessons learned to prevent you from making the same mistakes that I've previously made with my product selection. However, one of the most important things to take from this is not necessarily the product failure itself, but what you do after that, because it's likely you're going to launch failed products. It happens to everybody. It happens even to the best of the best sellers. It's what you do after that. Do you pick yourself back up? Do you analyze why you failed that product? Are you internalizing the lessons learned from that failed product and making improvements? Are you adjusting your strategy? Are you becoming better at product selection? That's what's important. And the reality is here that everybody goes through product failures. Failure is just a normal thing that helps us grow and reach our full potential. It's part of the process of reaching success. And that's what's really important here, is that when you have a product failure, that you pick yourself back up, you learn from it, and then you move on to the next one. Because the reality is that it's bound to happen. Failure is a good thing. It means that you're growing as a person and you're learning from it. Before I jump into today's video, guys, I wanted to share kind of something that happened to me the other day. Someone left me kind of a mean comment on YouTube saying that I didn't know how to make YouTube videos. They weren't really complaining about the content, but they were just saying that the quality of my video and the things that are putting out there just weren't very good. And I'm here to say that, I'm doing the best that I can. It takes me a lot of time to create this content, to record the video. Editing the video is extremely time consuming. I luckily now have someone that's kind of helping me edit the video, so that does save me some time, but there's still a lot of work and effort that goes into making these videos, and I really had no experience, about making or how to make these YouTube videos. I've been at it. I'm kind of just doing the best that I can, and I'm kind of just learning along the way. And in fact, I still am getting comfortable in front of the camera. This isn't a natural thing for me. I still have a lot of fear of getting in front of the camera. And I think that it's a good thing for me, though. I do see that it is a way for me to for growth. If you're afraid to do something, then it's likely that you should continue doing it. I think that this is just a phase and that I will push through it, and I am doing the best that I can, and I will get better at making these YouTube videos for you guys because, it's bound to happen, and I'm just here to tell you that I'm doing the best that I can for the amount of resources and the amount of time that I can kind of commit to making these videos. So if you are getting value out of these videos, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, or drop a comment below. I'd really appreciate it. But this video isn't here for me, it's for you guys. So let's jump into today's video. I wanted to start off by saying that I am a 7-figure Amazon seller. I've got 3 brands. I've got Shopify stores. I also consult and help out some other brands. So I've got a lot of experience with sourcing products, coming up with product ideas, manufacturing, and of course, launching those products on Amazon. And I wanted to preface this video by saying we've pretty much always been able to get our money back. We can always pretty much sell the product at break even and recoup our costs. It's very rare case, and I'd probably say that less than 5 times have we ever lost money on a product. So if you're thinking about that, or you're thinking about this opportunity for the first time, and you're following my methodology for coming up with product ideas, sourcing those products, and launching those products on Amazon, you can pretty much have a pretty good or strong feeling of going into this opportunity with worst case scenario is you get your money back. Now, it's also important to note that I've launched multiple products in all of the scenarios that I'm going to be talking about to you today in today's video. However, my journey of becoming an e-commerce entrepreneur and an entrepreneur in general has not been an overnight success, right? It takes lots of hard work, dedication, putting in the time, taking consistent action every single day to make this a reality. And part of my success is due to my failures, right? It's because I never gave up, much like I just talked to you earlier. It's about what you do after that product failure. You know, we're constantly analyzing product failures and figuring out what went wrong. Where was the mistake made? And then we're adapting our strategy. We go and put that information right back into our next product selection choice or our next market launch. So we're constantly analyzing our product failures, we're learning from them, and we're adapting our strategy moving forward. This is a constant evolution of a process. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you these 5 lessons that I've learned from product failures. The first lesson learned from product failure is launching a product within a market with not enough demand. So let's say that you've done all this brainstorming for product ideas, you've asked a bunch of friends for product ideas, maybe a parent or another friend has given you a product idea. You start thinking about how to develop it. You start prototyping it. Maybe you've even started, looking up different suppliers that you could potentially, find, or you start playing with the idea in further detail. And then you look at sales demand. Now, I've been in this situation. It's very easy to get caught up in the best product idea or the next best thing of XYZ. It's very easy to get completely absorbed and passionate about whatever it is that you're thinking about developing. Now, those are all completely normal and good things. However, we just want to cross-check that. And I'd encourage you actually to kind of flip the process. We want to cross-check this with actual sales data on Amazon. There are so many software tools out there now that help us analyze sales data of a specific market on Amazon that really allows us to know before we're breaking into a market just how much demand there is for that specific product. You're at a massive disadvantage if you're not using these sales data tools. And actually the first few products that I launched, I kind of ignored the sales demand. I thought this idea is good, like I would love it, like other people have got to love it too. I'm just going to create it and then put it up on Amazon and it's going to sell. That's not the case. That's not how Amazon works. We need to make sure that there is enough sales demand for that specific product. And actually now, like I said, there's so many tools that have allowed us to do this and make it so easy. I used to have to do this like manually. There's something called a 999 trick where I could like track the inventory of how it was kind of depleting day over day and get a sense of how much demand there was based off of the inventory that was depleting over time. And now you don't need to do that. Right now you can essentially just use these data scrapers or these software tools that get very good estimates on just what the market demand is. And we need to flip this mentality. Now when I'm launching products, I'm constantly looking at the product idea and the sales data and making sure that there is enough demand within that specific market to ensure that the idea is worth pursuing. Typically, when I'm looking at a market, I like to see at least 3,000 units of the product being sold across the top 10 sellers per month. This is pretty much my minimum threshold. Now, in some cases, I have dipped below that. I've gone down to 1,500 units per month in some cases, right? And if this is your first product, maybe you'd want to consider somewhere between 1,500, 3,000 units being sold per month. It also depends on price point. However, if you start going below that 1,500 units per month being sold across the top 10 sellers, you start to dabble in there's just not enough demand there. If you start analyzing markets and there's only 500 units being sold, including seasonality and influxes of product demands over time, there just really isn't enough demand there to probably make it worth your time. Now, I've launched products in markets like that, and it has taught me a lot about how to launch products on Amazon and the Amazon process. So there's still a lot of value in the experience of me having this failed product, and that's why, or part of the reason why I'm able to sit here in front of this video and talk to you about this failed product and the experience from it. However, now when I'm launching products or thinking about entering into a market on Amazon, I'm making sure that it pretty much has that minimum threshold. Now, another very important point here on sales demand is sales depth. We want to see that 3,000 units being sold across the top 10 sellers. In a most ideal situation, we want to see equal distribution across those top 10 sellers. So for example, if the market has 3,000 units being sold, combined, each one of those sellers in an ideal state would be selling 300 units per month. That would be an equal distribution. Now, of course, markets don't work like that. And typically what I'm looking at, or the most common scenarios, what I'm seeing is that the top 3 sellers have about 65-70% market share. The top 6 sellers have 85% market share. And then the top 10 sellers have about, the 100% market share. And the idea here is that if you can rank a product, if you can get a product rank and selling within that top 10, then you'll be able to carve out or steal some of that market share. Lesson number 2 from a failed product is launching a product that requires customer education. So I work with a company that sells outdoor equipment. And for this specific product, it was highly technical. It was technical on the front end in our sales copy, in how we essentially had to sell the product up front. We had to kind of educate the customer on the benefits of the product itself. And then we also had to educate the customer on kind of the back end, or on the customer support side of actually providing instructions on how to use the product and get kind of the most out of it. Now, I'm not saying that technical products don't work on Amazon, or products that you have to essentially educate the customer on. You just have to be aware of what you're getting yourself into. If you have a lot of marketing budget, or you're prepared to educate the customer, then of course this can work. However, if you're not at that stage, or you're not prepared to put that additional upfront investment into your product in the educational aspect of it, then I would tend to lean away from launching a product that required some sort of an educational component to it, in the sense of you have to teach the customer how to use it. Products that you can just list on Amazon and essentially the customer immediately understands what it is, or they've searched into Amazon and they already have the idea of what it is that they're looking for, and it's very easy for the customer to comprehend and understand the benefits. Let's take, for an example, a water bottle, right? If you search in water bottle on Amazon and your water bottle is displayed, there isn't a lot of customer education that needs to go into what that product necessarily is. On the flip side, if you launch a technical training aid, for example, and while a customer might search in some sort of training aid that they're looking to purchase, if there's a bunch of different training aids that all kind of do similar but different things, they work in different ways, if your training aid isn't very similar to the other training aids, then it might require customer education. And that's kind of what I'm leaning towards here, is you want to stay away from products that require a lot of customer education, or you're just going to have to spend a lot of money upfront educating them through marketing spend. Lesson number 3 from a failed product on Amazon is launching a product within a brand new market. Now, this lesson is similar to the one before. However, in this scenario, we're actually thinking about launching a product in a completely new market that does not exist on Amazon. Amazon is all about search terms. And the idea here is that we want to identify search terms that customers are already searching for on Amazon and place our product in front of those pre-existing customers that are there ready to buy. And in result, then we carve out a part of that market share. If there are no customers searching for a specific product or a specific niche, we're essentially creating a brand new market. And in essence, we're going to have to spend a lot of money up front to create this market and create this demand. That's not how Amazon works. We don't want to essentially create demand. We want to tap into pre-existing demand already on Amazon. Lesson number 4 from launching a failed product on Amazon is launching a product that's not differentiated. Now, this is a massive mistake. If you're launching a product on Amazon in 2019 and your product is not differentiated, you're in big trouble. You need to have a differentiated product if you want to be successful on Amazon. This is pretty much a hardcore fact in today's day and age. The days of launching a Me Too product on Amazon, you could do that. You could do that 3-5 years ago and you'd still be successful. Today, there's too much competition. You need to have a differentiated product. You need to have unique selling benefits for the customer. You need to stand out from the competition. And trust me, you want to do these things. You don't want to have a Me Too product. You want to be able to position your product in a unique and creative way so that you can have a healthier margin. So I want to give you a couple tips on how to make a unique or innovative product. And the first way is to make either changes or innovations in the design of the product or in the engineering or the makeup of the product itself. The idea here is that we don't want to reinvent the product. We just want to make slight modifications to the product and improve it in some way. Take a look at the customer reviews, get real feedback from customers who are, using the product itself. See what minor tweaks that you can make to improve that product. Try to make the best product that you can for whatever it is that you're thinking about launching. It doesn't necessarily only have to be within the product design or engineering though. After reading through those reviews and getting feedback from the customers, can you add in a missing feature? Or can you change the material in some way that makes it better for the customer? What you're essentially doing here is looking for improvements that you can make to the product to help your product outperform the competition and add an additional benefit to the customer. Now, you can also do this with packaging size. So for example, like if everyone is selling a big, long chair or beach umbrella, and it comes in a massive box, is there some sort of a creative way? Maybe you can do a slight engineering change that makes it more compact. If you're able to cut down on the box size and cut the box size in half, that's a massively competitive advantage for you. So it could be an engineering or design change to the product itself for the benefit of the customer, or it can be on the structural aspect of it so that it's more fit for an e-commerce solution or shipping in the case of Amazon. The next idea to make a differentiated product would be to bundle the product. Amazon gives us a ton of recommended products within our product listing. Take a look at the product listings and look at the recommended products about halfway down the page, or customers bought this product with this product. If nobody is bundling these 2 or 3 products together, that's a great opportunity for you to get all 3 of those products, put them together in a box, and sell them as a bundle. Another bundle opportunity would be to have the main product and maybe there's some simple secondary or cheap item that you can also add in to the main product that kind of adds a little bit more of an additional benefit to the customer. So for example, maybe you're selling a water pitcher and you're also including an ice cube tray. Maybe you see that both those products are being bundled together, or maybe you also see that it would be a good gift item to be included with the water pitcher. Another way to make your product unique would be to change the pattern, the color, or the shape of your product. Oftentimes, factories will have many different designs of a particular product that you might be looking to source. You could just choose a different design that's not existing on Amazon already, or you could change the color. Let's say that everybody is selling, white and black pillows, and you're the first one to come into the market with a pink pillow or a pillow with a pattern on it. Right? There's simple design changes that we can often make to products that make them stand out from the crowd. And this is just going to help us differentiate our product. Another way to make your product different is with packaging, right? And I don't just mean here, but like slapping your label or creating another cardboard box with your logo on it. We need to think about the customer experience. We need to position the product correctly. We need to identify the proper target customer for whatever product or market that we're breaking into, and then we need to cater to them. Think about the packaging that Apple products use, or the iPhone. There's this drawn experiential process that each customer goes through as they unbox the product. It's kind of this slow and drawn out thing. You peel back the layers, you slowly pull it out of the box. How can you recreate that for the customer? Giftable items are hugely popular. People love to give gifts. So if you position your product as that giftable item, it's just a great way for you to stand out. And standing out from the competition on Amazon is a must in 2019. The 5th lesson learned from launching a failed product on Amazon is launching a product without thinking through all of the costs. I used to send products into Amazon and not fully think about all of the costs associated. I would just wait to find out what the Amazon fees were after the product was already being sent into the Amazon fulfillment centers. Okay, this is a big mistake. There are many different costs. There's your cost of goods sold. You have the logistics cost. You have now the import duties cost. You have costs from taking the product to the port or into Amazon. Then you obviously have your Amazon selling fees. You have Amazon PPC. You want to try to paint the picture and build out these costs as much as possible before you go and launch your product. Finding out all of your costs as you're trying to launch a product on Amazon is a big mistake. You need to find out the costs before you make the decision to launch the product in general. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to get a full picture on all your costs, and you might want to leave some sort of a buffer in there or a little bit of wiggle room. However, we want to try to build out all of our costs as much as possible so that we know, is it even possible for us to compete within this market with our current cost build out? Now, before we're launching products on Amazon, we're building this out as much as we can so that we have a very good idea just what our margin potentially could be on Amazon. If we don't think that we can hit that 30% margin from the start, then we're not considering the product idea at all. So we're taking a much more financial analysis of the product's viability before we even go and put that order in for the product. So there you guys have it. Those are 5 lessons learned from failed products. For me to have the ability to share these experiences and share this knowledge with you has been through many failed products. And that's the only way that I've been able to learn from this experience and pass it on to you guys. So the last thing that I want to do here is discourage you from launching a product at all. You just have to understand that having a failed product is completely part of the process or getting to success. It's likely that you're going to launch a failed product. And the important thing to do is not to get discouraged. It's just to know that it's part of the process, to pick yourself back up, continue on to push forward. Think about why the product failed. Think about what we can do to learn from that product failure and then make adjustments to our strategy for future product launches. So I hope that this video has been helpful for you guys. I hope that it helps you avoid some of the mistakes that I've made. And if you've gotten value out of it, please hit that thumbs up button or drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about your experience. Maybe you've had a product failure. Please share it with me. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.